Good morning and Assalamu alaikum everybody. My name is Mahnoor Ahmed and this is our Lincoln Corner podcast series live from Creator Studio. Today we are joined here by a very famous guest in the study in the USA circle, Mr. Saleem Razaque. Mr. Saleem Razaque is the project director of USEFP and currently he's managing the 2024 Fulbright program and obviously other Fulbright programs in the past. So thank you so much, Mr. Saleem, for joining us. We are very excited to have you here at Lincoln Corner, Peshawar. I believe this is your second time. You've been here last year as well.
Yes.
But this is the first time in the studio.
Yes. Thank you, Mahnoor. Thank you very much. Thank you for the Lincoln Corner administration for inviting me here. Yes, this is my first time in the studio, not at IM Sciences. I was here last year and before that as well. But this is a wonderful facility.
I'm glad we could use this, to get the word out about the Fulbright application and the Fulbright program. It's one of the flagship programs and scholarships offered by USEFP. I think one of the most applicants as well apply to this scholarship. And obviously that makes it one of the more competitive scholarships around as well. But thank you for taking out the time and coming all the way from Islamabad to Peshawar. But I believe that is something that is part of your TORs, being the project director. You have to travel a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm honored, definitely. And Peshawar is always on my priority list to visit. I love visiting Peshawar universities here in IM Sciences. I'm always at IM Sciences, and then Women University in Peshawar. Edwards College, this is the first time I'm going to Edwards College tomorrow. And then, yes, it's good to be here.
It's lovely to have you here. And that means you have traveled most of Pakistan as well, probably for your orientation sessions?
Most of Pakistan, yes, you can say. During my 18 years with USEFP, I've been to almost all the Pakistan. Right now, unfortunately, I don't find time enough to go different places. But definitely once a year.
That's lovely. Before starting the actual podcast about the Fulbright, I wanted to ask, you've come to Peshawar a lot, but mostly, I guess, strictly business. I don't believe you must have had the time to travel Peshawar. So if you have, what do you think about this city? You come here at least, I would say a minimum of once a year at least, or maybe for other program orientations as well. How do you find Peshawar? How do you think it's different from the rest of the places you visited?
With the work related, yes, I believe that it's always that 1 or 2 days, maybe maximum 3 days.
Yes.
But in the past, in my student days, I used to come to Peshawar at least 4, 5, 6 times a year.
Right.
I had friends here in Peshawar. There were a few friends that I had those who were posted here in Peshawar.
Right.
So we used to come here for a hangout, for a gathering. It's a historical place since I'm a history student.
Yeah.
So I love this city.
You must have traveled in Peshawar as well. Some of the more historical places like Sethi House and Gorghatri, Kissa Khwani.
Yes, exactly. Kissa Khwani, yes, definitely. And I'm looking forward to my visit to Kissa Khwani maybe this evening as well.
Oh, lovely.
Trying to, let's hope.
Are you excited for the food that you're going to try? We are known for our tikkas and kebabs and stuff.
Yes. And those are the typical foods that when you come to Peshawar, how can you miss Chersi tikka?
Chersi tikka, one of the great.
Yes. So I should be very careful about what I'm eating now, Chersi tikka and all those. But I'm definitely going to try it today.
No, I mean, if you come to Peshawar and you don't have Chersi tikka, I don't think you've really completed your visit to Peshawar.
Yes.
Well, like I said, it's lovely to have you here. You were here last year as well, and at that time I was the assistant coordinator. I was actually newly appointed in those days, and I remember you came around and we had a session downstairs in the video conference room. But we sat here outside in Lincoln Corner. I don't believe you remember this, but we sat and we had a conversation for about good 10, 15 minutes. And I was at the time, I was just applying to the Fulbright program at that time. And I wanted to pick your brain about, the kind of people, the kind of applicants that you guys look for in the Fulbright program. Because obviously, when do you get an opportunity to sit with the program director of USEFP that manages the program? So we had a very fruitful discussion. You really guided me, not without, giving away too much, because you were made sure that मैं अपनी ख्वारी भी करूँ इसमें. Lekin you were very adamant on how you like the dynamism that sometimes the Fulbright scholars and the applicants that you're looking for have. So that's what I'm going to go towards, the Fulbright applicant. So when you are looking and you're screening through all these applications, you must get thousands of applications every year. How do you pick people out of that entire bunch? What sets some people apart from the other?
Okay, first of all, before answering your question, that I believe that session that we had for 15 minutes was a very fruitful session, especially for you.
I have no complaints.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
You are a Fulbright grantee now.
Yes.
Once selected, so you have become a grantee.
Thank you so much.
So for 2023 program. About applications, Mahnoor, there is a system in place. Over the years, although it's not, which is foolproof, we can say, and there's always room for improvement. We try every year to try new things to make it more competitive, more transparent, basically. Merit-based, it's a merit-based open competition for everybody to apply. So out of those thousands of applications, they go through a process. First of all, they are all being checked for the verification and ineligibility criteria.
Right.
Once the eligibility criteria is checked, those eligible applications, then each and every application must go through the review process.
Because you do write the ineligibility criteria, but sometimes people do apply despite being ineligible, because they hope that they might slip through the cracks.
Lot of them. And this is, I hope the good part of this program is that in the Fulbright, we don't get a lot of ineligible applications, but for our other programs, especially the U-Grad program, special exchange, a lot of ineligible candidates. But for the Fulbright, so each and every eligible application has to go through the review process.
Right.
Every application must be reviewed twice by the independent. There is always an independent pool of reviewers, experts in their fields from our alumni, from a different alumni in different disciplines. These applications, so they score each and every application depending on the scores of the reviewers. Then we come up with the shortlisting for the finalist. And then after the interview, as you went through the process, you know there is a final stage of the interviews. And then that's the make or break situation. That's the point where the applicant can make it or break it for them.
Right.
So there's a process in place.
It is a pretty thorough process. I remember going through the application. I've obviously applied to smaller programs and exchange programs. So their applications are thorough, but doable. But once I sat down for the Fulbright application, this was when it was announced in February. I opened as soon as possible because I wanted to get done with it as soon as possible. And despite starting working on the application in February, I still submitted it in May. Because there were so many revisions that I wanted to personally do because I wasn't satisfied with what I was submitting. And the second thing is that it is a pretty thorough application. It is about 22, 23 pages long. They do ask you for everything. And I think that's, I might believe you guys do this on purpose as well, just to see that if this person has the same trail of thought or maybe the same interest throughout the application process, or are there any holes during it as well?
In fact, it is sometimes intimidating as well. 22 pages application. That's what I always say in just the session we concluded now. I said that although it's a 22-page application, but there is a lot of information that we are asking repeatedly.
Yes.
That's repeatedly in that application, that your name, your general personal information.
Exactly.
But there are only two very important parts of the essay application. One is essay about your study objectives.
Yes.
Second is personal statement. Yes. And you are absolutely right. We always encourage applicants to go through the application once, see what is required, then start working on that application. Exactly. You read it again and again and again and again, improve it, share it with your peers, share it with your professors, share it with your faculty members, or other people, those who are renowned in your own field. Exactly. So share it with them, not necessarily getting very help from them in writing those, but write it yourself. While we are talking about filling out the application, I should definitely mention here that for last couple of years, we have started running these applications through plagiarism check software. So people should be very, very careful, including those AI checks.
Yes, so I believe that's important now with ChatGPT.
Yes, that's very, very important. Yes, exactly. That's the latest thing. And just 6 months ago, we were also amazed and surprised that wow. So it makes our work more difficult. Yes. But at least so people should know that these applications should go through the plagiarism check.